What if the reason your relationship feels disconnected has nothing to do with how much you love her, and everything to do with one skill you were never taught? Not communication, not romance, not grand gestures. The ability to see and feel what she sees and feels. That's it. That's the whole game. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why most men can't do this, what's blocking them, and how to start changing that today. The goal isn't to win arguments. It isn't to be right. It isn't even to be a better communicator in the technical sense. The goal is simple. Can you see and feel what she sees and feels? And most men have never even been told that's where they're trying to get to, because nobody framed it that way. Nobody sat you down and said, the most important relational skill you will ever develop is the ability to step outside your own perception and genuinely inhabit someone else's. So men spend years trying to fix the wrong things. They work on being less reactive. They try to listen better. They read books on communication, and some of that helps. But without this core ability, without the capacity to truly see and feel from her perspective, it's all surface level. The depth never comes. So if that's the goal, what's standing between where you are and where you want to be? One word: conditioning. From the time you were young, the world shaped you. Society, your family, your early relationships, your attachment experiences as a child. All of it left a mark on your nervous system. And that mark, in most cases, is a set of defense mechanisms. Now, defense mechanisms aren't bad. They exist for a reason. They were built to protect you from pain, from rejection, from feeling unsafe. And at some point in your life, they worked. They kept you okay. But here's the problem. Those same defense mechanisms that protected you then are now limiting your capacity to connect with the person you love most. Because what defense mechanisms do, at their core, is keep other perceptions out. They keep you locked inside your own point of view, your own experience, your own interpretation of events. And when you're locked inside your own perception, you literally cannot access hers. This is why the same argument happens over and over. This is why she says, "You never understand me," and you genuinely don't know what she means. This is why you can be in the same room and feel miles apart. It's not a love problem. It's a nervous system problem. Here's where it gets really interesting and really hopeful. There's a foundational principle in neuroscience. Neurons that fire together, wire together. What that means is, the patterns your brain has repeated over and over, the defensive responses, the shutting down, the deflecting, the fixing, those have become deeply wired neural pathways. They're automatic. They're fast. And they feel completely natural. Because to your brain, they are natural. They're the path of least resistance. But, and this is the hopeful part, the brain is plastic. It can change. New pathways can be built. Old ones can be weakened through disuse and replaced by new, healthier responses. Which means the capacity to see and feel what she sees and feels is not something you either have or you don't. It is something you can build, deliberately, consistently, over time. That's not just motivational talk, that's neuroscience. The specific skill we're talking about has a name: decentering. Decentering is the ability to step outside your own perspective, without losing yourself, and genuinely inhabit someone else's experience. It sounds simple, it is not easy, because to decenter, your defense mechanisms have to be calm enough to allow it. Your nervous system has to be regulated enough that you're not in threat mode. You have to be secure enough in yourself that adding her perception doesn't feel like a threat to yours. When you can do that, when you can genuinely decenter, something remarkable happens. You don't just understand what she's saying intellectually. You actually feel it. You feel the weight of her experience. You feel why it matters to her. You feel the emotion behind the words. And when you feel it, empathy shows up naturally. You don't have to manufacture it. You don't have to perform it. It just arrives. Because that's what empathy is. It's the natural result of genuinely inhabiting another person's experience. Here's what happens next, and this is the part that gets me every time. Empathy leads to understanding. Understanding leads to connection. Connection leads to integration. And integration leads to wholeness. That's the chain. And it starts with one thing: the willingness and the capacity to see and feel what she sees and feels. When she feels genuinely understood, not managed, not fixed, not tolerated, but understood, the relationship transforms. The walls come down. The distance closes. The arguments that used to spiral start to resolve. And something shifts in you too. Because when you can hold two perceptions at once, yours and hers, you become more whole, more complete, more human. That's not just good for your relationship. That's good for you. So here's where I want to leave you. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal isn't to never get defensive or never feel triggered. You're human. That's going to happen. The goal is to build the capacity, slowly, consistently, with real practice, to lower your defenses enough that her world can reach you, to see what she sees, to feel what she feels, to let that matter. That's the work. And it's the most important work a man in a relationship can do. If this landed for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment. I want to know what came up for you watching this. And subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of conversation we have here every week. I'll see you in the next one.